What is up, everybody? This is Lyle, No Hippie Trucking and Transportation, coming at you from Syracuse, New York. Man, I woke up this morning at the Pittston terminal. It was like 24 degrees, but this felt colder than any of that minus 28 in North Dakota and all that stuff. I mean, my fingers were actually hurting for about 30 minutes, but I'm going to tell you. Anyway, wanted to come at you guys right quick with my 2-year review on the TNT program at Prime. This was my experience. Your experience may vary. Alright, so let's get at it from the very beginning. So once I got past the PSD program in Salt Lake City, I became an official employee of Prime Inc. And I was told by, I'm not sure what his title is out there. I know his name is Aaron Ward. He said, well, we don't have a trainer for you right quick. Why don't you go back home, handle your, getting your license switched over and all that stuff, and we'll have somebody come and pick you up. So I was like, cool. So at the time, before I get to that took, it took about 5 days for them to get a trainer out to me. Now, at the time, I was only going to have to complete 30,000 miles. It's back to 30,000 miles as of the filming of this video. It had gone down from 50,000 miles. Now, I always like to be over-prepared, so when I went into this, my initial intentions were to do about 50,000 miles. Alright, so let's get to my first trainer. So my first trainer comes, gives me a call. We talk for a little bit. Everything's sounding good to go. So he's going to come and pick me up, and then we're going to head out. Now, it had just started snowing in Denver, so I felt a little uncomfortable with that. Even though I'm from Denver, I'm used to driving in the snow. I'm just not used to driving in the snow in a truck. And coming off of the pad training in Salt Lake City, I didn't really have that much driving experience behind me. But let's see, okay, so actually we ended up staying the night at that truck stop and leaving out the next morning, so the snow was gone. Now, Thyron, if you happen to be watching this video, I just had to ignore that call. Anyway, so I get out my first trainer, and it was almost like throwing me to the wolves to some degree. With him, I mean, I didn't feel that uncomfortable, but there were just certain things that I didn't know. Since I was doing my training on the pad, I'd never had to deal with way stations, any of that kind of stuff. And just to make a long story short,
important message has arrived.
Things with my first trainer did not work out that well. Now, one of the things I will tell you that Prime was very good at was, once it was known that me and my trainer were not going to be a match, there was no no retribution, nothing like that. Really, all it was, all right, well, we'll get you headed to the terminal and get you another trainer. Now, one of the things that Prime likes to do, and excuse me if I'm all over the place, but one of the things they like to do is have you fill out this questionnaire. And that is supposed to be somewhat of a basis on how these trainers are picked. Now, I don't know how me and the first trainer got together, because I don't see how any kind of a matching thing would have matched us together. And maybe, maybe they use that when they have the opportunity. I'm not sure. I can assure you that my second trainer, we wouldn't have been a match if it was based on one of these little questionnaire type things, but it just happened to be one of those things that that just turned out to be a match. Now, one thing I will say, and I will suggest to anybody going through TNT training at Prime, is keep in contact with your dispatcher. Most of these guys are pretty busy, so trying to get them on the phone might be a little bit hard. But at least once a week, I would send in a message talking about how training is going great, blah, 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 whatever. Just start trying to build some rapport, whether it be by message or phone with your dispatcher. And this is going to be for a couple different reasons. The first reason is if your trainer has the same status of what you potentially plan on being, meaning if he's a company trainer and you plan on going company, that's probably going to be your trainer or your dispatcher. And likewise, if he's lease and you plan on going lease, that will most likely be your dispatcher. So having a rapport built before you get out on your own is very beneficial. The second reason is if things don't work out with your trainer, you've kind of built up some kind of rapport with him. Really, all that happened when me and my first trainer split up, or was known that we weren't going to be a match, was when I called in. He just asked me what happened, and I'm not sure if he was trying to check me or not, but I was like, all right, well, you know what? I'm not going to answer this on the phone. I'm going to be down there, and we could talk about this face to face. So that's exactly what I did. Anyway, got with my second trainer, young kid. I was 50. I think I was 50 at the time. He was probably 24, so probably about half my age, exactly half my age, somewhere around that. But that situation was a totally different situation. Just the way, forget out how good we got along, because we got along extremely well, but the way he ran the truck really showed me how to run a truck. It was no, we can get to a shipper receiver between, midnight and midnight this date, midnight the next date, and we sit around wasting half the day. No, as soon as you got that low, we are out. He told me he didn't believe in windows, and you know what? I don't believe in windows now either. But anyway, got out there. This particular trainer was very patient with things. It really wasn't a training experience. And one thing that I told him was I planned on being on the truck for a long time. I wasn't exactly sure how long at first, but I was going to be there long enough to where we didn't have to go down this task list. And if you're going through TNT training right now and you don't have a list of your TNT checklist, go into the Prime application, click on My Prime, and go to My Documents, and there's a TNT training checklist. So anyway, I didn't plan on, getting off the truck anytime soon, so it was more kind of just learning through osmosis. It wasn't like, okay, well, today we're going to learn how to, slide your tandems, and today we're going to do this. It was just kind of like I just learned by being there so long. And that's one of the kind of the downfalls, I think, that's going to happen between the TNT training getting cut from 50,000 to 30,000, is there's going to be a lot more of these. There's going to be it's going to be a much tougher learning curve getting out there. Whether it's just backing, unfamiliar with different shippers, receivers, things like that. But anyway, back to the process. So those of you guys who have been watching my channel for a long time know that I did somewhere around 140,000 miles. I'm not exactly sure what that number was, but I was on a trainer's truck from like March 10th to like November or something or another. So a very long time. I had a chance to back whenever I wanted to have a chance to back. Some days I didn't want to do it. Some days, it's a little embarrassing being out there new and having everybody at the truck stop, looking at you, or the shipper receiver. But every time I wanted to back, he gave me that chance to back. Now, I hear a lot of people saying my trainer won't let me back or blah, blah. If your trainer's not letting you back, ask him. If he's still not letting you back, you might want to ask him, why is he training? I've heard some of the answers that people have told me, that when they've asked their trainer, or or why their trainer wouldn't let them back. You know, it was like, we'll get to it later was a common one. They were in a hurry was another one. And didn't want to damage truck or trailer was another one. Now, those are all three valid points and stuff like that. But when you sign up to be a trainer, you know, those are things that that you need to do. So anyway, your time off in TNT is going to vary as well. My trainer, we used to stay out for about 45 days, which was typically enough to do 30,000 miles. And then we would take off. He would take off, either a week and a half to 2 weeks, and then I would either take off a week longer than that because it took him that long to get back and pick me up. So I had plenty of time in TNT. I don't know how the pay works during that situation. I know I wasn't getting paid. I didn't expect to get paid during that off time, but that's how we did it. Now, I had a good time once I got with my trainers. As a matter of fact, I still miss being on the truck with my trainer every now and then. I think the training process or the TNT process is really hard to kind of do a review on because it's going to vary so much from one person to another. So my next video is going to be on the upgrade process, which should be pretty standard across the board for most people. So things are going to start getting a little bit more detailed as I go on with these descriptions. As far as the training goes, I know Prime is lacking trainers right now, and I know that I put it out there that I was thinking about doing it, and getting a little pressure from the Million Mile Man to do it. So when I come off of home time, which I'm not sure when I'm gonna take home time, we got this big old winter blizzard snowstorm in Colorado, so I told him to put my ETA out a ways. But when I come off of home time, I may be going through the terminal to take the training class to become a trainer myself. Not 100% sure on that, but that's the route I'm thinking about going, just because it'd be selfish of me not to. I definitely not doing it for the money, because I'm doing very well right now, but I do feel it's a responsibility to pay it forward, and I just wanted to make sure that I felt I was at a point where I knew enough to be able to pass it forward, because the last thing I want to do is be out there having it be a blind lead the blind situation. So anyway, those are my plans on that. Like I said, next one's going to be just one about the upgrade process, and then we're going to start really getting to the meat and potatoes of these Prime Inc. reviews, since right now we're at a point where things aren't quite as standard as they will get down the road. Anyway, I do want to thank you for stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. As always, I appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.